Life's a journey, but it's filled with love. I can speak my mind. I can heal my soul. It's all about wellness. I got full control.
Thank you for tuning in to HWJtv. This is Winnie. Today I am with Miss Marion. So a lot of people don't know this, Miss Marion. We talked about this. She has a radio show, and we worked together in for about probably 6 or so months. We talked about media and the importance of representation and getting your story out there. And she's a huge influence to why I'm even sitting here today, because
I'm flattered.
Because she is so passionate about communication and media and community building and being a positive influence. So thank you for being here. And it's kind of special because this is the last episode of season 1.
Okay.
Season 1 is a mini season, only 5 episodes. So it's kind of good to even wrap up the season where it all began. People get to hear about you and then hear one of my big inspirations, because it's all about sharing your story.
It's all about you.
And you're a big part about sharing my story. So
that.
thank you so much. If you could, Miss Marion, tell everybody out there who you are and what you have going on now.
Okay. I am Marion Gath, and I guess one way to sum up who I am an employee, I am an executive, and I'm an entrepreneur. I have written this book. I have a radio show. I also have seminar courses that can be taught. I have the need to educate and teach. I'm a teacher by profession. I just got out of the field simply because they didn't pay us enough money. But bottom line is I always have kept that consultative personality about me. I also have a radio show. I'm the host of the All About You show with OMG and Friends. And that show is just what it's called, All About You. I chose that title because I'm not self-centered in any way. I think it should be about you. And I like the word you because I am an English major. The word you is singular and plural simultaneously. So if I'm talking to you, then I'm talking to you. But if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to, an amount of people. And so with that, you have the ability to kind of focus in on what people need and not so much yourself. So I just felt like we were in need of communications on a level of minority. My next venture, just recently launched my book. It's called Image, and the acronyms stand for I Make a Great Employee, I Make a Great Executive, and I Make a Great Entrepreneur. And I think there are certain things that you have to do in order to have that step over someone else. It's a short book. It's on Kindle. I'm trying to give you business tips, so I'm trying to give you information on where some of these places are, and most etiquette books don't do that. They're just going to tell you how to do stuff.
And it's important, I think, as a minority, because a lot of us are not exposed to maybe a cigar bar or a golf course and things like that. So you go and you get these accolades, but then you get out there in the workforce and there's a whole nother game.
There's a whole nother game out there.
You have the intellect, but you can't compete because you maybe weren't groomed with that information.
That's right.
You're being judged on things that you
don't even know.
Exactly.
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And this is where my putting together an etiquette book for people coming straight out of college, getting ready to become an employee or an employer for someone, being an entrepreneur and or an executive. You have to know how to get ahead. Unfortunately, fortunately for those people, the other persuasion, they're born with all this stuff. They're taught all these things. And we at one point, I think, were taught etiquette by our parents at home, then reinforced by our grandparents in church and school and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. All that's gone. Yeah. So people don't have anything to go on. Yes, you have to know. You have to make your advantage. You're not born with it, unless of course you have a silver spoon in your mouth and your parents have been, they've provided you the opportunity to be well exposed and travel and, fine dining and all this other stuff. But for the masses of us, you got to learn on your own. So I learned it. I was married to a surgeon here in Houston for 15 years ago. And with that, I entertained a lot. So it was the impetus for me to pursue manners and etiquette and table setting and all the little niceties that comes with knowing when to bring a gift. My book it is a reference. And if you don't know, it is to teach you, but if you do know, it is a reminder.
What brought you here to say, today I'm going to write a book, I want to help and educate other people and inspire other people? Where did that begin? Where did that come from?
I think the impetus came from first being a teacher. You have to like people. So I care enough about people to want to teach them, especially my people. I love my people. So any way that I can help broaden our horizons, that what we've been exposed to, or if I can take you through my process and that will help you in any way to see what's out there that you can possibly do on your own, then I'm going to help you do that.
What advice, looking back, if you could say, okay, when I was 25 to 35, or when I was in that range, what would you tell that Marion?
Take advantage of your elders because they bring a lot of information. I don't think the young people of today pay much attention to us. They think, other cultures pay a lot of attention to their grandparents, their elders, because that's where your wisdom starts.
What advice would you give someone that's thinking, should I write a book? Could I write a book? What advice? Because I know this has been a journey just in getting the book.
I've been doing this for 5 years, just about. I mean, this is something that I toyed with back and forth. I started the radio show. I did a TV show for a minute. So I've done all these things. But what has been consistent in my life has been mass communication. That's the one thing that's been consistent. From trying to do a TV show, The Divas of Late Night Houston, that was for mass communication. The radio, mass communication, and the book. You have to get bigger than your environment. You have to make things to where it is appealing to other people. It's not just one-on-one is perfect, but I love talking to you, but I also want to talk to you, all of you out there. So, you just have to remain true to yourself. That's always first and foremost, and keep forging ahead and take that first step. There are baby steps. You can't just jump out and write a book. And then when you do try to write a book, you have life happen, so you put it aside. You don't go back to it for a while. You get mad because you don't want to write that, and then you research some more, and then you start other projects on the side. So you do writing as a hobby initially, because you have kids, you have life, you have day job, you've got other things you're doing. But never let go of that fire that wants to speak to someone.
For women, in interviews and different things, I know you've been in the professional realm. What thing do you see that we are lacking etiquette-wise, and maybe why we're not going where we would like to professionally?
People like when you are able to engage them in conversation, especially with interviewing. I teach interviewing skills in some of my seminar classes. Some questions, it's a trap. Give me your weakness. Well, I don't have any weakness. What are you talking about? And those kind of things. So you always sell yourself, and you sell yourself, but you can only sell yourself if that's who you are. Because if you're selling a lie, you're going to get caught out of that. For interviews and meeting people on the regular, you just have to be approachable, likable, marketable, and be able to promote you and whatever business you're working with at the time. It's like, wow, I kind of liked her. Get her back in here, especially on interview scales. And as I mentioned about etiquette and manners are totally different. Manners you're taught at home. Manners it's an innate thing with you. Your parents have raised you well. You have a good heart. The key to a mannerable person is a person with a good heart. The key to a person with etiquette, it starts with manners. You have to have that good heart. You have to be altruistic. But you're okay with following rules. Etiquette is a set of rules, if you will. And nobody likes those. And they can be bent a little, and used in moderation to comply with whatever it is you need to do. But it has to be done with style. It has to be done with grace. It has to be done with no malice. Etiquette, I think, is an integral part of maturity.
I know me. And be honest with yourself. Everyone out there probably needs to get in contact with you so that we can brush up our skills.
I would like for them to do that.
How can they get in contact with you to get your book and also get help?
You can call me at 832-651-0654. You're also able to book on I Make a Great Employee, I Make a Great Executive, I Make a Great Entrepreneur. Go to Amazon and purchase the book. It is on Amazon.com. For my radio show, All About You show, with that, we have OMG and Friends, because the complete title of the show is All About You with OMG and Friends. And if you want to come in sometimes and talk about things that are of concern with all of us going on in this world right here, you're perfectly welcome to come in and sit in our rotating chair. I have a chair that is left for the public. And so you can give us a call there at 713-789-0096.
Well, thank you for tuning in to HWJtv. This is Winnie, and thank you to Mrs.
My
Marion.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
She's been a great guest. Thank you for tuning in today's show. Make sure you have a great day.
All about wellness. I got full control. Yeah, that's to go. Oh, my body and soul. Yeah. this journey.